Welcome back to Learning American English. We are happy you are here and would like to invite you to subscribe to our podcast so you can best benefit from our weekly educational episodes for English learners. Each of our episodes focus on a specific, practical topic that you will encounter in real American life. Okay, here we go. Understanding American values and individualism. Americans hold a unique set of core values that shape how they interact, make decisions, and view the world. Understanding these values, especially individualism, freedom, directness, and optimism, will help you make sense of many aspects of American behavior and culture that might otherwise seem puzzling or surprising. Part 1 Vocabulary 10 Key Words. 1. Individualism. The belief that personal freedom and independence are more important than collective conformity. American culture places enormous value on individualism and personal achievement. 2. Self-reliance. The ability and habit of depending on your own capabilities and resources rather than others. From a young age, American children are encouraged to develop self-reliance. 3. Personal responsibility. The principle that individuals are accountable for their own choices and actions. The emphasis on personal responsibility shapes many American policies and social attitudes. 4. Meritocracy. A system in which advancement and success are based on ability and hard work rather than birth or connections. The American dream is built on the belief in meritocracy, that talent and effort determine success. 5. Freedom of speech. The constitutional right to express opinions and ideas without censorship. Freedom of speech is one of the most fiercely protected rights in America. 6. Privacy. The right to keep personal information and private matters to oneself. Americans take privacy very seriously. Questions about income can feel intrusive. 7. Optimism. A tendency to hope for and expect positive outcomes even in difficult situations. A can-do optimism about the future is deeply embedded in the American character. 8. Diversity. The presence of people with widely different backgrounds, identities, and perspectives. The United States is celebrated globally for its remarkable cultural diversity. 9. Equal opportunity. The principle that everyone deserves a fair chance to succeed regardless of background. Equal opportunity in hiring and education is both a legal principle and a core cultural value. 10. The American dream. The belief that any person can achieve success through hard work and determination. Millions of immigrants have come to America inspired by the promise of the American dream. Part 2 Dialogue. Discussing American values. Leo. Professor, I'm from Brazil, and I sometimes find American culture confusing. People seem friendly, but also very independent. Dr. Hall. That's a very perceptive observation. Americans value both warmth and independence simultaneously. That combination can be disorienting at first. Leo, back home, family opinions matter a lot in major life decisions. Here it seems like people do whatever they want without needing anyone's approval. Dr. Hall, you've identified something real. Individualism is a core American value. People are expected to make their own choices, career, relationships, where to live, without needing family permission. Leo, it almost feels lonely to me. Dr. Hall, that's a thoughtful perspective. Many Americans feel that tension between independence and deep connection. But that independence also means enormous freedom to reinvent yourself, which people here value deeply. Leo, I'm starting to appreciate that freedom, even if it still feels different from what I grew up with. Part 3 Guidance Article: Core American Values. To understand American behavior and attitudes, it helps to understand the core values that underpin them. These values are not universal. They contrast in fascinating ways with values common in other cultures, but understanding them provides essential context for life in America. Individualism is perhaps the most defining American value. Americans believe strongly in the rights and freedoms of the individual, in personal choice, and in the idea that each person is the primary author of their own story. This manifests in how children are raised, encouraged toward independence early, how work is rewarded, individual performance valued, and how success is defined, personal achievement celebrated. The American dream, the belief that anyone can succeed through hard work regardless of their background, remains a powerful cultural narrative. Whether or not the reality lives up to the aspiration, the belief itself shapes how Americans think about effort, ambition, and possibility. Directness is another important value. Americans tend to say what they mean, give opinions openly, and expect the same from others. Politeness in America is usually expressed through friendliness and warmth rather than indirect communication. Finally, Americans place high value on informality. Using first names quickly, dressing casually, speaking straightforwardly. These tendencies reflect a cultural belief that everyone deserves dignity and that rigid social hierarchies are unnecessary and uncomfortable. Part 4: 3 Real-Life Tips and Strategies. Tip 1. Embrace Americans' tendency toward directness. When someone disagrees with you openly or gives frank feedback, interpret it as respect. They are engaging honestly rather than simply telling you what you want to hear. Responding with equal directness builds trust and admiration in American professional and social settings. Tip 2. Respect privacy as a genuine cultural value. Americans are typically more private about income, family matters, religion, and personal relationships than people from many other cultures. Questions like, "How much do you earn?" or "When are you having children?" can feel invasively personal. Wait for people to volunteer personal information rather than asking directly. Tip 3. Recognize that American independence is not the same as emotional coldness. When Americans allow adult children to make independent choices or say that's their decision to make, it reflects deep respect for autonomy, not indifference or lack of caring. Understanding this reframes many American social dynamics that might otherwise seem confusing or distant. We hope you've enjoyed this episode of Learning American English and would greatly appreciate it if you would take a moment right now, if you haven't already done so, to subscribe to our weekly podcast episodes. Until next time.